Welcome to this tutorial for Stride Events. Today I'm going to show you how to customize your sponsor sales page. So you'll log into your account, and then you'll see all of the events that you have access to. Today we're going to do our Old Town Renaissance Fair. These are, of course, just our fake demo events that we use for these tutorials. All right, from the sidebar menu, you're going to select Sponsors, and then Edit Form. You'll notice that this looks You'll notice that this looks a lot like our registration or edit registration form or edit ticketing form. Of course, it has its own design, but a lot of things will be familiar to you. So you can adjust the background color. You'll notice that I've already been in here and I've added a photo, and then you can adjust the foreground color, and I have this green selected, which you can see on the foreground right here. If you go to settings, you can find some overall design settings and then some sales settings as well. So let's cover those. So right now I have the background image set to match registration. If I wanted to have a different image, I could select use unique image and then upload a different image, or I could match the ticketing form instead. It's up to you what you want to do. I'm just going to match the registration form here so that there's some consistent branding. And then you can also adjust the form opacity. All of the sponsor tiles have an overlay, so you can also adjust that opacity as well. So I'm going to put it at 60 here, and then you can select how you want the tile order to be on this page. Right now I have it to sync in our sponsor category list order that I can adjust on the Manage Sponsors page. If I want it to have its own order, I can do that too. I can uncheck this, and then when I click and drag the tiles, it won't affect anything else. It will just, the sponsorships will show up in the order I click and drag those tiles, and won't affect any of my backend views. And then I can select how many tiles I want to have per row. It's at 4 right now, but I could set it at 3, or I could set it at 2, just depending on how you want this page to look. And then we have some sales settings here that are just overall sales settings that you can adjust here. And then verify email is checked, and this is just, we'll have the sponsors enter their email twice. So that way you're making sure that you're sending an invoice or other sponsorship information to the correct email address. If you're not worried about that, you can uncheck this, and then sponsors will only enter their email once. I'm going to leave that checked for now. Okay, so let's go ahead and we will save our changes here. All right. So I can click and drag these tiles into any order I want. If I want to go from least expensive to most expensive, I can. Or if I just want to put the ones that are open still, I can do that too. If I click on the tile, I can customize it. So I can select a different color for the tile. If I want it to be purple, I can do that. You can go ahead and save that. And I've got a purple tile. You'll notice that it's a little bit of a faded purple from the one I selected, and that's because, again, we have that overlay over the top of the sponsors tiles. Other option I have, of course, is I can upload an image. And then I'll adjust the zoom on the image. And then I can click and drag it to place it for what I want it to display. If you have an image that's smaller than your tile size, you can kind of frame it with the tile color. So that's another nice feature here. And then if you don't like your settings, you can always change them or disable them. But I'm going to show you what this photo looks like. So we'll go ahead and hit save. And now you see I've got an image background here. And then if I click on the tile again, I can go back and make changes as I need to. All right, so that is how you can customize your sponsor sales page. It's a really handy tool, and it can look really nice. It makes it easier for sponsors to find you online. So that's really great. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.